The second edition of Firefight is due to arrive late this April. Question is, what is Mantic Games Firefight and how do you get started? And is this truly a great alternative to Warhammer 40,000? Firefight is a squad-based sci-fi war game set in the distant future. However, this isn't a dark dystopian future such as your grim dark Warhammer 40,000 universe, where there is nothing but war. This is a future where capitalism has run rampant and humanity's grip on the galaxy continues to squeeze ever tighter. Giant corporations collected together under the umbrella of the Galactic Co-Prosperity Sphere, or the GCPS, grow rich on exploiting the natural resources of planets spread throughout the galaxy. In order to do this, they recruit sprawling armies to defend their assets and wipe out the local population should they become hostile. Humanity's inexplorable journey across the stars has brought them into conflict with numerous alien races. Some, like the stoic Forge Fathers or aloof Asterians, can be bargained with, while others, such as the ravenous Plague or insidious Veer Min, only understand violence. Much like Warhammer 40k, this will be put into action via the tabletop with armies small or large to face off in battle. Typically, a game will feature around 40 to 60 miniatures using a D8 system, with a mix of infantry squads containing multiple miniatures, but obviously your airships soaring through the sky and tanks trundling across the battlefield too. It also has alternating activations, which ensures gameplay is dynamic and you never have to wait long until it's your turn to roll some dice, i.e. you go into a scenario taking it in turns to activate a unit as opposed to the well-known formula of wait an hour for your opponent to finish their turn.
A quick special thank you to our sponsors, Board in Brum. You can shop over there for all your wargaming needs, from Games Workshop to Atomic Mass Games and many other companies. And look into their events that they have on pretty much every weekend. Thanks to those guys, and you can go and check out the link to their store in the description below this video.
You may already also be aware of a few other Mantic games within the same universe. Star Saga is a dungeon crawler level game in a linear setting. Dead Zone is the more skirmish level game on a smaller table with individual models using a grid movement system. Firefight is your army battle level of the game on a 4x4 or 4x6 table depending on points level. Then finally, Warpath is your large mass battle version of the game. There is a lot of crossover with the universe here between all four games, and models are transferable. So if you have models from these games already, they will possibly prepare you nicely for Firefight 2nd edition. So the question then is, where do you start and what to get you going? Well, for starters, a lot of the models etc. for Firefight are much more affordable, and although can be bought separately, each faction has its own Strike Force starter set. Also due out in April, there is the Firefight 2nd edition 2-player starter set, containing two forces, the Marauders, an orc-like faction looking to wage war across the galaxy, and the Enforcers, a hard-hitting elite soldiers of the Council of 7, the ruling body of the GCPS. Along with these two strike forces, you get the core rulebook and a force lists book containing the rules to play all current factions in the game with all their stat lines etc. This is a fantastic way, as you don't have to buy hundreds of books to play one faction. Mantic will just release a new version of this force list book whenever new factions or units are added to the game. Also in the core set are dice and tokens you'll need for the game. There is also a mega version of the starter set on release, adding one gunship to either side, allowing larger point battles from the off. It is also worth noting that you can get the accessories and books separate on release if you happen to already have models, or want to buy a strike force for one of the factions separately to the core set. Many factions are up for grabs, the two from the starter set that we've already mentioned, the Marauders and the Enforcers, but you also have the GCPS looking to expand human life across the galaxy, the enigmatic Asterians who carved out their huge empire long before humans had even thought it was possible to leave old Earth. The Asterians' greatest fear is the human interest in the Silent Lands and the horrors that will unleash. Think of these as your mysterious Eldar race. The Forge Fathers, or Space Dwarves I like to think of them as, are an ancient civilization that has been a galactic power for millennia. Technically superior to almost all they encounter, These hardy folk are as tough and stubborn in battle as they are across the negotiating table. The Veermin are the insidious threat that thrives in the underbelly of the galaxy. These mutant rats and their diabolical weaponry are a scourge that is almost impossible to contain. Kind of think of like a space Skaven race. And finally, the Plague is a highly virulent form of alien bioweapon. Once the Plague starts to spread on a colony or planet, the only way to stop it is via blockades, dead zones and planetary isolation. So don't think of these necessarily as just a Nurgle demon force, but think of them more as like a Tyranid, almost like alien hybrid race. All of these sets are very affordable, and the Force List book makes list building easy to just play straight out of the Strike Force boxes, as opposed to building a points list for hours on end, but also gives that customization option if you need it. Mantic's games are renowned for being easy to learn and play too, meaning it's easy to start up and introduce friends to the game. So, question is, will you be picking up Firefight 2nd edition and maybe giving this a go over the usual Warhammer 40k option? Let us know in the comments below. We'll be reviewing and releasing gameplay footage etc. leading up to the release, so make sure to keep it here at Wargaming Luke for all things Firefight. And make sure to check out our board in Brum for all your wargaming and hobby needs, and check out our latest videos on screen now. As always, happy wargaming.